Mio's Ouroboros design is speculated to be based off of this design of Cosmos. Especially you can see with Cosmos's thighs, the pattern on there, the blue and orange pattern, is present on the head of Mio's Ouroboros. The opening to Time to Fight Bionis Shoulder from Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected for the Nintendo Switch family of system lasts for about 15 seconds. The 14th name in the Torna credits is Hugo's Japanese voice actor Akira Ishida. The last line of dialogue in Xenoblade 3 is, in Xenoblade X, Mira has 5 moons, which would never actually happen in real life because if a planet had 5 moons, especially to the size that Mira has, it would be torn to shreds by the tidal and gravitational forces. But somehow Mira is able to keep itself together despite all of this. Again alluding to something about this planet. Elma was onto something all along. In some early concept art for Mithra, we can see that instead of the tapestries that she has base game on the back of her outfit, she used to have wings. It is assumed that Shania was originally going to be a hero in base game Xenoblade 3, as in the art book there's a section going over all the heroes, and about midway through, right after Monica and Gondor, we see Shania, where you'd normally expect her to be after the heroes. So this kind of hints that maybe at some point in development Shania was going to be a hero, but I'm very, very sad that she is not. As we all know, in Xenoblade 2 there is a blade named Paragon, but what many of you may not know is that in Xenosaga there is a Gnosis that shares the same name. Not only do they share the same name, they share similar color schemes. In Future Redeemed, the battle theme you hear while fighting an enemy at Colony 9 is the exact same battle theme from Xenoblade 1. It is the default battle theme called Time to Fight. In the distant tundra in Pikmin 3, you can hear faint motifs of the Valley of Repose from Pikmin 2. Now, what does this have to do with Xenoblade? Well, all 3 numbered games are on the Switch, with the 4th unnumbered game not being on the Switch. But in the case of Pikmin, it got another numbered game with Pikmin 4, but it still stands, alright? At least you can play the entire series almost on Switch for both of them. Tyranitar Kurodil from Xenoblade 2 is the highest leveled super boss in the game at level 130. He is also the highest leveled super boss in the entire series, not counting the challenge feature on gravestones in Xenoblade 3, which super bosses can go up to level 200. At the very beginning of Xenoblade 1, we play as Dunban wielding the Monado. However, in the tutorials for that fight, we see Dunban wielding the Monado 2, while in-game he is wielding the Monado 1. And this is congruent across all versions of the game, including DE. I got too lazy to actually explain this myself, so I'm gonna just let Anel explain it.
Did you know that female drivers tend to focus on blade combos while male drivers tend to focus on driver combos? Essentially, if you are using Morag or Nia in your party and don't use any blade combos in the battle, they will not swap off their primary equipped blade. The one exception is if they have a healer blade in a secondary slot and see you really low on HP. Zeke and Rex are coded differently in that they'll swap blades pretty freely for arc cooldowns, but will have a tendency to swap to blades that can continue a blade combo.
Every party member in Future Redeemed has a combo art which pairs with another character. Everyone except Glimmer and technically Nael, but she is a post-game hero, so that doesn't count. Matthew and Shulk have Break, Rex and A have Topple, but only Nicole has Launch. Curiously, Glimmer does not have Launch, and instead it was given to Rex, so Rex has Topple and Launch. So not only did Glimmer get shafted, they're just buffing my guy Rex even more than he already had to be. On top of Rex being broken, he also has 2 combo arts. Truly to cement the fact that Rex is the best character in the game. The music in Elysium in Xenoblade 2 depends on whether or not you have encountered Klaus yet. Before encountering Klaus, the music is Abandoned City, and after it is a rendition of Temperantia. In Xenoblade 2, all of Cosmos' and Telos' specials are moves that they actually use in Xenosaga. However, their skills are a bit more nuanced. Heartbreaker is a move in Xenosaga that increases the amount of break damage that Telos can deal. However, for Cosmos, the Encephalon refers to something in Saga of the exact same name. The Encephalon is a massive virtual reality world normally accessed through the assistance of special red goggles. However, it is implied that the goggles don't serve any visual purpose and instead aid in connecting to the brain. In phase transition tech most likely refers to phase transfer cannons from Xenosaga. Now, phase transition is the change from one physical state to another. For example, refers to the direct conversion of mass into energy, and a phase transfer cannon just allows this to happen. Xenoblade X is the only Xenoblade game where there is no Napon party members. Technically, Xenoblade 3 doesn't have any either, but Riku and Manana are heroes and those still count as party members. In Xenoblade 2, Elma's level 4 special is called Full Metal Jaguar, which is the class that she has in Xenoblade X, and even the animation for it is a mix between Shadow Strike and Executioner. In Xenoblade 2, both Cosmos and Telos' names are mispronounced even by the characters themselves.
Cosmos.
Proceeding with Cosmos host separation.
I am Telos.
Known as Telos.
In a cutscene in Chapter 5 on our way to Tantal, we can see a glimpse here of Zeke's core crystal, which is interesting because Zeke isn't revealed to be a Blade Eater until Chapter 7 in the Spirit Crucible Elpis. For this one is an animation for Senna, so make sure you do everything that I do here in order to trigger it. First, make sure the entire party is at level 99 except Senna. Senna must be at level 74. Right? You must have Melly as your hero and Mio as Stalker. Then go to Lower Maktha, make your way all the way up to the Nopon house and wait. And if you've done everything correctly, she will do this animation. Frigid actually has a very rare animation that you probably won't see all too much. Normally she will do this animation where she has 4 flames and then she swipes them away, but very rarely will she make a heart out of those flames. The total runtime of all the cutscenes in Torna is roughly 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 41 seconds. In Future Connected, if you level down to level 70 and fight this Kyle Lexos in Alchemoth, when you defeat it you'll gain exactly 41,635 experience. The ending to Xenoblade 2 was heavily inspired by Xenosaga 1. They have a lot of similarities. First, the final boss is fought in this giant structure that the entire game has been leading up to, and then once the boss is defeated, said structure starts to get destroyed, and the main android girl of the party has to stay behind to ensure everybody escapes. And then after that, both parties fly over an ocean with a very nice sunset.